All right. So, anybody want to see Prezi?
Yes.
Yeah. So hopefully you checked him out in the back. Awesome stuff. Steve has been cruising the room taking pictures. I can't see what he's brewed up. We're gonna see some magic in the making here. But I remember I first saw Prezi. I'm like, wow, I gotta get Prezi going. So I don't know if you noticed our little reel before the show, but that was all Prezi.
Hey, let's give away a Corona really quickly because we got a bunch of them. Should we do it?
Okay.
Anybody have? First person to raise their hand gets Corona. I saw you back there, buddy. Sometimes you just got to go right to the action.
So Steve, whenever you're ready, we will. All right. Matthew's got the remote. Hold on. Sure. Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Well, so my name's Steve Wishman. I'm a senior presentation designer over at Prezi. And previously, I was a presentation designer for Duarte Design, where I worked alongside some really amazing people making visual stories for Silicon Valley leaders and 10%ers alike. And one day I got this interesting offer to come work for Prezi, and I thought, wow, that sounds like a really exciting thing. How cool would it be to work for an innovative software company that's working on some next generation stuff? And as it turns out, it's really exciting. Because I still have this exposure to high-profile presenters, but at the same time I get to really push the boundaries of using some sort of next-generation tools, you know? It's really interesting because Prezi is such a paradigm shift away from the slide-based approach that we're seeing users surprise us every day with new ways that they're using Prezi. Now, you may have heard Prezi referred to as a digital whiteboard with infinite space where you can arrange your content, and that makes it a great tool for brainstorming. But as a presentation designer, what really interests me are the new ways that people are using Prezi to present with. There's something really philosophically intriguing about having this formless expanse of creative space to work in. And it reminds me a lot of Marshall McLuhan's quote, "The medium is the message." It seems like Prezi has this innate ability to conform to whatever your presentation style is. And we're seeing that every day with situations like this, where a user takes a cinematic approach to designing their presentation, using camera moves and cinematic principles to tell these really engaging stories. Also, we're seeing people take a diagrammatic approach to using Prezi, where they're showing relationships between things in space and in scale. And then we still see other people using Prezi in a metaphoric way, where they take a visual metaphor as a background and they arrange their content around on this image so they can bring clarity to complex topics or promote memory of their presentation. So now Prezi's moved into iOS, and we now have the ability to create a presentation anywhere in the world. And I've been having a lot of fun with this lately, using Prezi in sort of a journalistic way, and so that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. If you start Prezi on iPad and hit New Prezi, you'll instantly get set up with a couple of really intuitive layouts or backgrounds to choose from. But if you do what I did here and do a little bit of prep work before you leave the office, maybe like drop a different custom background in here like this floor plan of the venue, then you can instantly hit the road and start documenting your experience. So when I first got here, I took some pictures at the entrance, went ahead and added a little bit of information about the venue, and then I made a beeline straight for the free tacos because they're free. And when I was out there, I met some pretty cool people like Oasis, from West Agile Labs. Headed back inside where I ran into Mike from Artiphone. His product is just amazing. Hung around the bar for a little while and schmoozed in the dark. And then, I took a look at this presentation timer, which made me instantly nervous. And so I backed away, watched some presentations for a while, had a great time doing that. And then it was my turn to come up here. And so I figured to document this part of the event, what I'm going to do is take a picture of you guys. It might be a little bit difficult. Yeah, that looks cheap. That is my experience. Let's drop that in here and see, do I have enough time to take a selfie? There we go. Me. Put this guy in here too. And if I exit the Prezi now, hit save. You'll see that I'm uploading these two images to our server. Give it a moment here to get there. Wait for it. And boom. This presentation is now live online for people to view. In fact, I can take this one step further, and I can copy this URL and switch over to an application like Twitter, and I can go ahead and tweet out the event from the stage here. So, boom, it's instantly done. I'm able to live tweet an event, documenting it and sharing it on stage with the world. Yes. So, another added benefit, I think, is if you're a journalist and you're documenting an event. Let me go ahead and fast forward here to my event. You know, people can see this when they get to the event and say, shoot, I need to like orient myself here, and so let me get some added context by rotating this thing because I'm standing at the entrance. Oh, I see the bars at the left, tacos are outside, let me go get some of that. Yeah, and so basically I just wanted to end this with one of my favorite quotes, and that is from Bruce Lee, who is famous for saying, do not get set into one form, adapt it, build your own, and let it grow, be like water. And I feel like that is what Prezi can do for you as a presenter. Thank you.
Right on. Nice work, Steve. Good stuff. So, hands up high for questions. I don't think a PowerPoint presentation will ever receive that sort of applause, so kudos. That's awesome.
For those of us who are PowerPoint users, is there any kind of transition product or?
Like an intermediary to use
Yeah,
it
kind
into
of like
Prezi?
a primer or something that can help PowerPoint users transition to
It's funny you
Prezi.
mentioned that. We actually have a PowerPoint import tool. So what you can do is take an existing PowerPoint file that you've made and import all of those elements into Prezi really quickly. And that should get you over the initial hump of inserting your information. You can just get right into creating, move things around, position things in scale, and try to create a whole new experience with that same material.
Okay. There's obviously a ton of different uses for Prezi. Where do you guys try to focus in terms of market segments or user groups that?
Traditionally, we've had a really strong user base with the educational market, and I think that has a lot to do with our freemium model. But genuinely, we consider ourselves a presentation tool that just happens to do so much more. And so, you know, right now we're working on a lot of things to try to make Prezi more convenient for the business user to use, and I think you're going to see a lot of growth in that area. Does that answer your question? Sorry, I don't know where you are. My eyes are in the back.
We got a question up front here.
Actually, we have a plan to be on the stage in 1 month and really seriously considering using your product for our presentation. Is it really easy to use for everybody?
I think we've made the interface pared down to the most essential elements that are very easy to see. So we have a very intuitive top menu with like 3 choices, with a lot of sub choices underneath those. I find, and I think a lot of users have also commented, that it's very easy to get started and very easy to put things in Prezi. You know, as with any software, there's a bit of a learning curve. So we have a lot of tutorial videos online. We have experts that are like a support team that answers questions. But no, I mean, I believe that Prezi is extremely intuitive to use, but it's just a matter of getting used to this idea of thinking about things in terms of scale. And I don't know what the average user goes through with that. It took me a few days and I was up and running.
Up front here.
Hi. Something that is limiting me to using Prezi is the weight of the file and sometimes the slow of the loading time of the file.
Sure.
That's why when I speak publicly, I don't use Prezi. Is there anything you're doing in this way to light the movie and to make everything?
So generally, I'm sorry, when you're presenting publicly, it's recommended not to rely on an internet connection to do that, and we have a tool called Prezi Desktop, which is a downloadable version of Prezi, which operates completely offline. And when you have that, you know, on your desktop, you don't have to worry about load times.
With mobile?
Yeah, I'm all the way in here in the back.
Sure.
You mentioned having video tutorials and things of that nature, but do you have any sort of on-demand boot camps or anything to get somebody up and running that is basically, I have a PowerPoint background and, you know, I'm not a but I want to use Prezi. And do you have anything like that, or anything for best practices for driving adoption within an organization that's typically death by PowerPoint?
If you're familiar with lynda.com, I know Lynda has a lot of Prezi introductory classes that help people get up to speed. And like I said, it's more than just tutorial videos also. We do have some best practice videos and powerful user community that you can always ask questions to.
I'm right next to that guy at the bar. It's pretty comfortable over here. You've been around for a couple of years now. Why are you presenting here and now? What are you looking to get out of this?
Well, basically, as a designer, I was really excited that I was able to finally make presentations on a mobile device in this way. And, there's been a lot of talk about Prezi, but it was a kind of a personal thing. I wanted to come up here and show different ways that I'm seeing people use Prezi from my perspective. And then, as an added benefit, also show the fact that we're now able to create new Prezis right here out of the application. This feature here to create a brand new Prezi is something that hasn't been possible before recently.
We got a question up front.
Yep.
Since you guys are moving on to iOS and it doesn't support Flash, are you guys looking into moving off the web layer off of Flash?
I'm not sure if I can comment on that, but I do know that we have a lot of people researching and working on different tools, different programming languages and stuff to make Prezi. I know that we're also doing a lot of research into using Android because there's been such a powerful demand for Android. So yeah, people are talking.
Hey, maybe the last question.
Sure.
Second to last. You guys are possibly hiring. Are you? And for what positions?
Possibly hiring, yes. Constantly hiring, yes. If you go to the prezi.com/jobs page, you'll see a whole list of positions there. And we have positions available in San Francisco and in our Budapest office as well.
You serving lunches and all that stuff?
Sorry?
No, hang on one second. We got another question. Trying to see all the walrus in the fridge.
Hi. Can you describe the compatibility you have with sites like SlideRocket and SlideShare, etc.?
I have never really used SlideRocket. I've used SlideShare, but I think that would be kind of redundant for Prezi because Prezi itself is embeddable without the need for this intermediary tool. I'm not exactly positive if those things are compatible. I would be surprised if they weren't working on some way to port Prezi over. But right now, without using any sort of online sharing tools, you can embed Prezis and share them because it's web-based to begin with.
Awesome.
All right, Steve, we are officially out of time. Prezi's hanging out in the back. Steve will be at the bar doing shots.
Thank you, Prezi.
Thank you so much.
Hey.